Next up, we have my fellow PhD student at UQ. Although he actually did his on time, he showed what it's supposed to be done like. Please welcome Brendan Markey Towler.
What John neglected to mention there was that he's been responsible for bringing me to the Liberty Movement, and so we might as well dedicate this talk to you, John, because this is a bit more, it's very touching. It's about sort of the practicalities of liberty. These chaps have talked about how innovation policy works, and I want to talk a little bit to why it is absolutely critical that we get serious about innovation policy right now. And the argument that I'm going to try and make is that from the perspective of liberty, we need to be becoming entrepreneurs. We need to become entrepreneurs to defend our liberty in a world of constantly changing technology. We need to be entrepreneurs to keep ahead of the curve and not have to rely on the government or other individuals who may coerce us, impede on our liberty. We need to become entrepreneurs to avoid that situation. Now, to do that, I want to talk about the limiting case of technology. At the moment in the world, if you pay any attention to the tech world, you'll be seeing this talk that the robots are coming, artificial intelligence. This is the limiting case of technology, and it's very interesting to see what the economics of that technology are and what that means from the perspective of maintaining liberty in society. So, what is artificial intelligence? Artificial intelligence is, by definition, it's an artificial intelligence. It's, by definition, the recreation of a human mind on a machine. It's the recreation of a human mind on a machine. That is to say, we can take the structure of how a mind works and we can put it into a physical process. That's a calculator, essentially. Even a calculator is an artificial intelligence after a fashion. Even after the first invention of the very first computers, Alan Turing was already saying, look, these things are basically recreating minds on machines. The big boost to AI and why this is such a mother of God technology is the advent of machine learning, because not only can we program now how minds work into machines, we can get those minds to evolve. They can learn, they can update. That's really important because this is a qualitatively different technology to anything that went before. Technologies in the past have really just extended the realm of human capability. They've just, instead of having to go and attack John with a machete, I can shoot him from 5 feet away. It's extending what I can do. This is different. This is a substitute for human labour. It's a substitute for human labour. It is not a mere complement. It can do what a human being can do, and that's critical to understand, except in one particular. There is one thing that we don't know a machine can do, and there's one thing that differentiates a human from a machine, and that is consciousness. And consciousness, we can make a philosophical argument, allows us to be creative. And creative doesn't just mean that you become an artist or a scientist. Creative is also the exercising of judgment. So those are two things that we do not know a machine can do. And that's going to be really important, because the second that we do create a machine that has consciousness, I am retreating to the Great Dividing Range with some rifles and supplies. So that's what AI can do, that's what it can't do. It is a substitute for all routine human labour. Except in that particular of consciousness, except in that particular that we can't get a machine to be creative or exercise judgment yet. Now, what's the economics of that? And this is where we start to see why technology is a threat to liberty, but, well, not just a threat. We can get ahead of it, and we can maintain our liberty and get we can have our cake and eat it too. We can get the advantages of technology without losing our liberty. But there is a threat to liberty from this technology, and it emerges as soon as we chuck it into a model of an economy. So if we chuck that artificial intelligence into a model of the economy, what it spits out is three really profoundly disturbing predictions. First of all, there is no future for routine labour. If an artificial intelligence can do exactly what a human labourer can do, there's no need for the human labourer. The machine can do it cheaper and better. So there's no future for routine labour with this artificial intelligence technology that is coming along. We also have insane production technology. This is a Star Trek type production technology. You remember in Star Trek, if you all are fans of that, that you just go to a replicator on the wall and you say, give me some Earl Grey tea. And the machine just produces it for you immediately. That's the sort of production technology that we are going towards. This is a massive, what economists like to call a massive scaling technology. We can produce thousands of widgets, all one, with the same amount of effort on the part of human labour. And that's important because this is likely to generate an insanely unequal distribution of income. If you can scale your production technology, that creates a winner-take-all environment in markets where if I've got the best product, if I've created the best product, I win the entire market. So those are three big concerns that come from a model of the economy from a perspective of maintaining liberty. Liberty is not just coercion from others using force. It's the ability to live your life as you see fit. Now, if you've got artificial intelligence coming along like this, those three predictions of the models of economics about how this plays out directly impact on that liberty. You don't have an ability to get income from routine labour. You can't use that income to buy the material goods and services necessary for your life. That's really, really, really disturbing, right, from the perspective of maintaining liberty. There is a way to deal with it though, and that's where this idea that we all need to become entrepreneurs comes from, and we need to get serious about innovation policy comes from, because there is that one thing that we don't know machines can do yet, and that's the ability to be creative and to exercise judgment. If we want to maintain our liberty to live our lives as we see fit in this world of artificial intelligence, and that's just one technology, this is all technologies have this sort of effect. If we want to maintain our liberty to live as we see fit, we need to become entrepreneurs. We need to do what that technology cannot do so that we can obtain income and so that we can live our lives as we see fit. Now, what does that require? This is where we get into the practicalities, and luckily, this doesn't require the government for us to do. We can do it ourselves. We can become creative and exercise judgment ourselves and maintain our liberty in the face of artificial intelligence technology. The most basic thing that all y'all sitting here can do is to develop generalized knowledge, because the problem of being creative isn't exactly how do I become creative and genuinely creative? How do I come up with something that I wasn't told to come up with? That's actually not so much of a problem, really. We are all creative. One guy up the back going, I'm not. But we are all of us creative. You are all individuals. We're all creative. The problem is not coming up with new ideas, it's acting on them. It's accepting the idea, incorporating it into your mind. That's the problem of encouraging creativity and judgment. We need to be able to get people to act on their ideas. And for that, there's some very nice mathematics which you can read. Check out my website, which says the way that you get this is to develop generalized knowledge. Contra specialized knowledge. This is to say, learn a little of everything. Because learning a little of everything allows you to see connections, to accept connections in a way that you didn't before. Having generalized knowledge means that new ideas don't contradict your mindset. They only build at the periphery of cores that are already in your mind. And that allows you to incorporate ideas much more easily. That allows you to be creative. That allows you to exercise judgment and maintain your liberty, to live your life as you see fit, even in the face of a mother of God technology like artificial intelligence. So that's what you can do. After this presentation, go home, well, actually no, after this conference, go home, read a book, go to an art gallery, learn a little art theory, learn a little history, learn classics, learn a new language, learn mathematics and science, learn about birds, I think Arvin's was talking about yesterday. Learn about birds. These are things that develop your general knowledge and allow you to maintain your liberty in a world of constantly changing technology by becoming an entrepreneur, being able to be creative and to exercise judgment. And so I was really impressed with the homeschooling talk yesterday, with that idea that get your kids on board early with this. Learn general knowledge so that you can exercise judgment and be creative. Teach your kids. Encourage them to seek out new sorts of information that they wouldn't have otherwise sought in school. School creates a fairly rigid, specialised knowledge. We train you up to be a certain thing. Don't do that. That's not how you maintain your liberty in a world going forward. So that's what you can do as an individual. But we also, and this ties into the overall themes of this conference, we need we need permissionless information, because we can have these ideas, we can exercise judgment, we can be creative, but we have to not be stopped from doing that. And that's why this permissionless innovation idea, this idea of freeing up our societies so that we don't just discourage people and let people be innovative, we encourage them to be innovative. We need to be getting serious about that right now, not just from the old communist bugbear of maintaining life, liberty and happiness. We need to do this from the perspective of liberty, so that people have the freedom to live their lives as they see fit. And to finish up, one other way to do this, of course, and I'd like to thank John for bringing up this and making it clear that it's not entirely communist, is the bringing back of friendly societies. These are the sorts of things that we need to be getting serious about yesterday in order to maintain our liberty in an AI world, in a world of constantly changing technologies. We all need to become entrepreneurs, and we need to get serious about innovation policy yesterday. Thank you.